Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody. Give me just a moment. Let's get some Zoom going here, or I'm sorry, YouTube, and then we'll get started. How is everyone? Welcome, everybody. Oh, welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody. Give me just a moment. Let's get some Zoom. Got everybody playing here, multiple places. All right. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome, Zoom. Welcome, everyone. Good to see everybody. How is everybody? You're not hearing me. Okay. Yes, you can hear me now. Everybody got a good signal? Welcome, welcome, everybody. Good to see you guys tonight. How's everybody doing? Hmm? It's such intense, lovely energy right now, but it helps when we focus, right? It helps when we know what we're focusing on so the energy it isn't infecting us. It isn't affecting us, infecting us to having any thing other than a storm. Hello, Hawaii. Hello, all over. Share with me where you're from. I love it. I love seeing you all here. All right, so let's see. Let's get started here, my friends, and then we will move on to Q&A. Hello, hello, everybody. Good to see you. So, as you all know, if you are in Zoom, if you're in the live, if you're signed up for Truth Tribe, you can always just log into the Zoom, and this is where you can ask live questions. I always love having some of you on as well. You don't have to come on if you haven't done your hair and your makeup and you're not ready to be live, but you want to put your voice on. I'm happy to bring you on during the Q&A for specific questions. Remember, nothing is off the table in Truth Tribe, even if it's just the topic we're talking about. You want to ask about something else, bring it up. I'm all in. All right. Okay, so let's get started and we'll move on. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Truth Tribe. I'm Daune Thompson. Again, thank you all again for being here because some of you are new. Some of you have been with me a long time, and I always love seeing all of your faces and hearing from you. Remember, you're perfect exactly where you are. There's nothing wrong with you, even when it feels like it. It's meant to be. I love you. Truth Tribe is to illuminate self-awareness of your health, of your wealth, and of your love. You do not need an astrology chart for Truth Tribe, but it will help you for self-awareness during planetary updates and calls that I do touch on your chart, which I will be tonight. So if you have your chart ready. To learn the basics on just understanding how to read your chart, go to my Self-Awareness Astrology 101 or just go grab the I Deserve It membership. It's right on my homepage in the tools, or just slide on down on the homepage and you'll see it. Okay. So that way you're always prepped for the calls. I don't always bring up charts, but a lot of the times I do. So it's just nice to have. So tonight, why are you here is our topic. And seriously, like that's my question. Why are you here? On this call, in this marriage, in this career, in this family, in this city, in this state. Why are you here? Right? Why are you there in those scenarios? What's your purpose? Can you see the bigger picture of your life? Like, can you see it? Because if we don't look for it, we're not going to be looking. We're going to want to know, why am I here? What am I doing? And it's absolutely in your chart. Oh, yeah, your purpose is part of your fate, my friends. And it's hard for us to wrap our brain around that because it's like, well, what is my purpose? And it's so much bigger than people confuse purpose with career. And it's not always, but it blends together. Our purpose is actually a big blanket of us. But here's where it gets messy. We tend to like cherry pick the easy parts of our purpose, and then we get disappointed when it doesn't feel fulfilling, right? Truth is your purpose, right? Truth is your purpose, like as a blanket. Your purpose just blankets everything, woven together in all the threads, not just the cozy pieces, but we get stuck in the cozy pieces. So, for example, for me, my purpose is to raise self-worth of the planet. My ego brain translates that into teach it, coach it, lead it. And yes, that's absolutely part of my purpose. But the real work, my purpose is to share truths, and it has been my whole life before it was cool to share the truth at the time. Oh, I got trashed for it, right? Showing people how to see themselves without 20 years of therapy. Always thought that was bullshit. Not that therapy's bad, as I've brought up, but 20 years means there's something missing. Validating someone's pain that it's real, because that understanding of where your pain came from or that you came in to see it, that alone can spark healing, right? Creating simplified lighthouse astrology to see simple, fast validation and writing books, both of which purpose I avoided due to that out of the box teaching that I teach, the out of the box criticism that I feared for so long. Like I just feared it, right? That's what clicked, right? When I saw that it was a bigger picture of my life. And so the exit door for the root of your pain, my friends, is in your chart, and it's in there. It's often deeper than your ego memory of what you're meant to overcome. So the ego is like, that's an experience I'm meant to overcome. Your chart says that's a lesson and a karmic embrace that you need to step into. Understanding that your karmic lessons and your soul blueprint is way more empowering than being easily reminded of your trauma through therapy and through reminders and people and explain, constant experiences. And then hoping that your fortune is coming your way someday. Someday it'll be my turn, right? But lately, and I just like to share because it's like what comes out. I get to talk to so many people all the time, clients, friends, wherever I'm at. I hear so many people focusing on dinner guests that they dislike, probably mirroring their own inner dislike instead of focusing on their delicious dinner. I hear people disappointed in the speed of delivery that others are delivering, that they're dropping the ball on, right? Only to avoid their own balls that are being neglected in their own karmic growth. I hear so many people say, you know, I want to do this thing in my life, but I don't want to take actual responsibility for the actions it will take to activate that in my life. Like we discussed last week, right? Do you have a mini script to deliver your needs while remaining calm and confident in these external storms and the chaos? Right? I hear that I'm not growing, Dawn, after all the work I have put in. I get it. I'm guilty of that same phrase coming out of my mouth. And when I look back, and if I look back and I see I'm happy with the tree that I'm standing under, that's what I ask, right? I may only have four peaches, my favorite fruit, by the way, but I may only have four peaches on that tree to eat, but does it have fruit that it didn't have a year ago? We keep forgetting to see how far we've come because we're so lost in all the minutia of BS in front of us. This is the challenge many of you are feeling, and it's for sure the universe and the planet sending direct, I call it redirect signals to your ship to just turn your ship compass 1 degree to get to your desired destination. But it's pressure and inner fear that keeps you on the wrong GPS settings for longer than necessary. And this is why knowing your purpose and why you are getting out of bed daily is so crucial right now. Why are you here on this planet in this now moment with me on this call? Where do you want to go, and how can I direct you to that destination if you don't know where there is? And that's why I'm asking you why you are here. I'm going to keep asking you, are you here to see that your chart is nudging you to turn the dial of your compass 1 degree? Take one step in that direction that you're unsure of. Will it be perfect if I just do that instead? No, it won't. You know what's so funny about that? A friend gave me this awesome quote the other day, and it is, done is better than perfect. Oh my gosh, I thought that was brilliant, right? Getting something done is better than making it perfect. So take a step, get it done. All right. So, okay, I was sorry. I diverge a little bit there. Let's get back to your purpose. Okay. So let's bring it back to you. Why are you here? What do you want? And when I asked myself this question, for me, I wanted freedom to break all the BS labeling of broken people and give you back your power. Freedom to teach whatever I wanted, however I wanted. Freedom to do it anywhere I wanted. Freedom to do it with a solid team that I trusted. Has it been challenging? Absolutely. I mean, seriously. Was it written in my chart? You bet. My purpose and karma is in my ninth house, representing all of that. And it's written in your charts too, my friends. And it's represented by your North Node. So if you have your chart, find your North Node in your chart. Remember, if you don't have a chart, you can go to Astro Charts on my website, ideserveitnow.com. You can grab your free chart. It won't give you a whole lot how to read it, but it'll give you a little mini report. So you can see at least where your North Node is and what house it's in. But when you're looking at your North Node, okay, think of it as the leaves of the tree. It's of your tree, okay? And here's your trunk, okay? The more attention that you give to the leaves of the tree, the more shade, the more fruit, the more beauty it produces, wherever that North Node sits in your chart. It becomes the canopy of protection. Those bananas, those peaches, those apples, whatever your orchard, whatever you're growing. So the pride that you feel isn't from the easy stuff, because this stuff up here to grow a tree, to grow a plant, it takes time. It's from growth that you've stretched through. And so the core of tonight's discussion is our purpose. Your North Node is your compass direction, my friends, and it's literally like a compass needle. Okay. And it points you toward the growth that you actually came here for. That's why you're here. In case you guys were wondering, why am I here, Dawn? That's why you're here, to grow and move in that direction. And here's the kicker. It's not your job to micromanage the big picture. Your job is to lean into the growth that feels stretchy and scary and inconvenient. That's the stuff that grows your life tenfold. And so examples of growing your North Node, you're an athlete, winning a championship after years of sweat and sacrifice. Finding love that feels rich because you worked through heartbreak. Waking up in a new body after a season, years, a lifetime of pain and despair. Doing work that doesn't feel like work because it lights you up. Having money flow in like fruit falling from a tree because you nurtured it. And again, my North Node sits up in my ninth house within the sign of Aquarius. I avoided it, my friends, for so long. I played small, I did the basics, I avoided too much astrology because back in the day I would get criticized. Avoided writing because I don't write, I'm not a writer. Like I avoided all ninth house stuff, which, as you can know, knowing all of these things they fall into the ninth house. And then in the sign of Aquarius. So what I did is I made a list and began adding small doses to that purpose. Those leaves, growing anything that was ninth house or Aquarius related. And I kept chipping away until I felt more confident. And because some of the things in that house and in that sign, I was like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. And I was like, I'm not comfortable with that. And then I was like, oh no, you're gonna do it, but small. And then I did small, and I was like, that's not so bad. And then my first book was a journal, my friends. It was just a journal to write notes in. And then my next book was an actual book, Drama Detox, and then they just kept going. I didn't want to be a writer, but I did it because I needed it to help me do the bigger job. So those are things I want you to think about. in that energy. That's North Node energy. Then it comes to Aquarius. Well, astrology was easy for me. Why wasn't I using it? Because I was afraid of criticism. What? And then I thought, well, I'll just teach it my way because I don't want to do traditional astrology. So I kind of had to break through some of the discomfort and do it what it was asking me to do. And the tree just started growing. The fruit just started exploding. So then you have to worry about, remember, there's your north node at the top, and it's like a compass needle. And the trap is the south node sits at the bottom. Here's your leaves, and here's your roots. And the trap of the south node, right? It's the easy part of your tree, the roots, right? The wisdom that you came in from past lives, the patterns that you've already mastered. So likely wherever your south node sits, you're pretty good at that house. My south node sits in my third house of communication. Never been a problem for me. Is it comfortable? Yep. Safe? Oh, super safe. One-on-one work instead of big group stuff like this and on stage and all the things I had to push myself into. Yep, this is safe. Growth? Not so much. Is it a talent you'll use to push into those leaves? Absolutely. So your north node asks you to climb. Your south node says, nah, let's stay cozy down here. Okay? Which one do you think grows your soul? Of course, you know, my friends, it's the north node. It's your purpose. Now, your purpose may not be specifically to your career. Part of the ninth house for me is traveling, and I did not do a lot of traveling until I met my husband, who is a love. He's a travel lover. I mean, he loves to travel. So he pulled me out of that little comfort zone and pushed me into one. I'm like, oh, I'm doing the career, I'm doing the purpose. And then he pulled me into the exploring aspect. And I thought, oh, well, that makes sense. So I attracted people to help me explore. Don't get me wrong, I've explored many places, but it was always kind of small and controlled. So it was planned, it was structured, and so now it's a little bit more open and free. Now I can work in any city in the country, in the world for that matter. But I had to keep chipping away and making that happen. And in lighthouse astrology, your north node is literally your lighthouse beam. Okay? It shows where your soul came to grow. And then your south node, just think of that as it's the dock that you already know how to sit on. There's nothing wrong with the dock, but your destiny is to shine from the tower. And that north node starts making that tower shine. So today I want you to name that one area of your life that you've been leaning into too heavy of your south node. Where is that comfort zone for you? If you don't have your chart, where is it in your life? What's too comfortable for you? What do you do a lot of? What do you draw yourself back to because it's comfortable? Then ask yourself, what would stepping toward my North Node purpose look like today? Not someday, but today. Right? Do that one thing, even if it's a micro step in a soul. It's your soul's win just by each time you chip away at that North Node energy of what it's asking you to explode, to explore, to create more of. Right? If you've got a North Node in the career house, yes, it's not, doesn't mean you have to go start a new company. It means you have to do something that makes your heart sing in that career house, in the sign that your North Node's in. If your North Node is in the third house, you have to learn to grow your confidence when speaking to multiple groups, to different people, to teach, to give your information out freely and clearly with joy. Teachers, communication, all types of local interaction, talking to groups that are close to you and then in the town, in the city, and in your associations you're with. Learn to communicate at the top level. Writing, printing. Maybe your North Node is in your first house of self-confidence and self-esteem. You do everything that sign and self-confidence would grow you to become more settled and strong and unmovable in your lighthouse for confidence. That's your goal. So if you don't know, you can easily find your purpose by what you love, enjoy doing, just as in general. I enjoy astrology. It's just not hard for me. What I enjoy more is how to break Aquarian energy, which is they're the rule breakers. They're the revolutionaries. They bring revolution to things that people weren't sure how to do. That's the Aquarius part I love. Do I use it through astrology to let you see yourself quickly every night on Monday going, huh, if I just checked that out, that'd probably help me out. It absolutely would. Even if you just understood a little bit deeper. Okay. So I'm going to hop now quickly into the planetary update. Why? Because if any of you follow astrology channels, which again, I don't like to get too deep into the details of the planets because then we get too caught in it's the moon's fault, it's Saturn's fault, it's someone's fault, right? It's not, it's all just messages. Remember, the planets are language giving you information to say, huh, how could I use that to grow my purpose, to grow my North Node, to grow my tree? So tonight, I want to prep you on, I want to say Saturday on the 22nd. Okay, I think it's Saturday. There's a new moon in Virgo. Okay, and this new moon being 0 degrees of Virgo is like the cosmic launch pad for new beginnings. Because remember, new moons are new beginnings. Okay, it's the start of a new cycle. And so it's a blank canvas of potential, my friends, and there's a whole bunch of planets right behind it. It's the first of two Virgo moons in this next and cycle of September. Okay, there's two new moons. And so it's signaling the start of these Virgo eclipse cycles. Okay. And I'm not going to get into the eclipses and all that right now. I just want you to know on the 22nd, 0 degrees, new beginning, Virgo rules health, it rules service, it rules details, it rules analyzing information. So it's wanting you to get grounded. It's an earth sign. Practical Virgo energy invites you to reset your routines, set intentions for your health, your wellness, and service. And not just in serving others, my friends, but how you serve yourself as well. Not to take, but how are you caring for yourself, right? And plant these soulful seeds for what you want to grow. Okay. Next, Saturn is going to be trining Uranus. Okay, and people all over are talking about this. I just want you to give you the basics. Saturn is discipline meets innovation. Okay, Uranus is innovation, Saturn is follow the rules. Okay, so when Saturn trines Uranus, okay, Uranus, some people want to call it, it's like your inner architect building, Saturn, and your wild innovator team up, right? So you get this rare magic of structure balanced with sparks of all these new, fresh ideas, giving you patience plus a clear vision of that purpose. This transit is going to help you build something lasting, but with flair. And it's the perfect time to learn a new skill, launch a new project, develop your thinking while you're staying grounded. How do I want to chip away at my North Node and go further, grow the biggest tree possible, but still stay grounded in the steps I need to take? It's a big deal. Then we've got the full moon. I'm sorry, that the new moon, okay? In it's going to be squaring Uranus, okay? And so this moon squares Uranus. I want you guys to expect emotional zings because 0 degrees and 0 degrees, they're like a tight square like this. So here's over in this corner, you got the moon, and over this corner, you got Uranus. So you've got a trine, you've got a square, you've got all these angles fighting each other for their, like, my message is important, no mine, right? So the moon is going to square Uranus at 0 degrees. And so expect emotional zings and sudden shifts. So people don't like right to change. And so if something suddenly shifts, it's like your heart gets a jolt awake, like demanding you to make a change. And it brings restlessness, impulsivity, and flashes of truth that you will not be able to ignore. Not to be it's bad for you. It's more like, oh, okay, if I do that tiny chip, go that direction, what's good for me? Dawn said that's going to just expand the peaches on my tree. Okay. This transit challenges what feels safe, my friends, and it can ignite breakthroughs on how you relate to or express yourself. And yes, it can feel chaotic, but that tension is birthing sparkly, unexpected new pathways. And that's what you're all here to do, right? That's what you're all here trying to grow is new, a new life. And you're like, but I don't want to let go of the old. This helps it. Okay. Then we've got a whole bunch of outer planets that I would call a cosmic reset because they're all at 0 degrees, which is new beginnings. There's 30 degrees in every constellation of every sign, right? 30 days in a month, 30 days in Capricorn, 30 days in Aquarius, and that's just those are the months, right? So when you start all these planets in a new sign, there's several planets that are in this lineup. The new moon in Virgo, Saturn and Uranus are at 0 degrees. They're in harmony with each other. They're trying to help each other out. Then you've got this charged moon coming in that's going to square. It creates, then you've got Neptune at 0 degrees. I mean, we've got a lot going on. Okay, so it creates like kind of the universe and the planets are like the cosmos are like creating an invitation. Like this is your Genesis moment, that your new beginning. You've been working and plotting and planning and laying bricks for that yellow brick road to get you where you're going. You're being ushered, my friends, toward a fresh start in the physical routines, in your vocational dreams, your career dreams, your emotional freedom. You've been working on letting go with the negative emotional release tool of all that emotional bullshit from your past, all the stuff that holds you down. You've been working on soul level restructuring. So the cosmos and the universe is handing you a gift, a clean slate with the discipline to back it, right? The innovation to make it exciting, right? And the emotional clarity to let go of what's too small for your soul, your purpose. When you see it, own it, write down all the things that you love in that house and that sign, you're like, whoa, I've been playing small. That's how I felt. I was playing way too small for my soul. So I encourage you to find the houses of each of these planets that are affecting your own chart. Virgo, Gemini, Aries, each of those houses, whatever those houses are in your birth chart, and your North Node, they're all being activated. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a little Truth Tribe cosmic practice, okay, for the new moon coming up. So what I want you to do, because all these planets are kind of like, listen to me. And I'm like, let's just listen to all of them, right? So I want you to choose one intention that feels like a clean slate for your new moon. Okay. So number one, I want you to write it at the top. You know what? I'll upload in the community walls a little template for this. Okay. So you can follow with notes right now, but I'll upload it tonight and you guys can just save it and download it and print it and write on the steps. But step one, I want you to choose an intention that feels like cleaning your slate, right? Right at the top of a blank page. Then I want you to put 2 columns down, okay? Structure, which is Saturn on the left, and innovation, which is Uranus on the right. And write one way that you can support this intention that you want with a steady discipline. And one way you can add some daring twist. Like, if you're writing a book and you're like, should I put that really, crazy quote or paragraph or chapter in there, or should I not? Yes, it says yes, you should. Okay. Number 3, underneath all of that, I want you to write one sentence naming the old emotional story you're releasing, the full moon square, okay, or the moon square in Uranus. So an example, I release the story that I have to work until exhaustion to prove my worth. That's the one we're going to let go of, right? Write this down. I release the story that I have to work until exhaustion to prove my worth. Then I want you to close your eyes for just 60 seconds, 30 seconds. Hold your hand on your heart and say out loud, I step into my reset. My purpose is bigger than my past. What category could use water and growth to show some fruit on my tree? I will put all this in the template and I will load it up within the hour after we're done with class. And just fill it in, my friends. And as you all know, now that with all this chaos and the catalyst energy, right? I make a printable copy to use this power moon, right? That the way that your tribe can actually do it in real time. I want all of you to to write it down for you, right? And so I'll put it in the community wall for downloads. But the reason I'm bringing this up is you can write it and keep it. You can write it and put it out in the new moon on the 22nd. I typically will write all this stuff down and burn it because that's my soul, my faith, having faith of going, I'm letting it go. That's my surrender. I typically, if I write intentions or one of the moons are powerful enough to make me feel like this one's rattling me, I will write my intentions and I will then put it out to the universe and then I burn it and let it go, knowing that I put it out there. I don't need to think it more, analyze it more, worry about I didn't get it more. I just let it go. And then start working on what I can do to chip away at that North Node sign and house. That is the biggest awakening for all of you right now because I guarantee people, when I'm talking to them, I'm sure a lot of you are doing the same. We get stuck in our South Node where it's comfy and easy, right? A lot of people wouldn't even think of like, oh, well, my South Node's in my ninth house, let's say flipping mine. That's about travel and exploring and information and learning and higher learning and constantly learning, but you never push the information down into your voice and use it. You're always out learning and exploring and learning, so it can get you in trouble if you don't take the wisdom and push it into your voice. And it doesn't matter what you're learning. It could mean learning all 12 categories of your life. You're pushing it into your voice, into the third house. Those are the different ways you can start looking at it. Okay. So everybody here, tap in with me. I am courage. I am love. Repeat after me. I am truth. Tap here. I know courage. I know love. I know truth. Okay. I'm going to open up Q&A. If anybody wants to share, I saw someone said my North Node is in Pisces in the ninth house. So there is a lot of you starting to learn. You need to learn how to explore your spiritual side, higher learning, but not just higher learning, but also teaching the higher learning to others, teaching spirituality to others, learning how to not self-sacrifice your knowledge because you're fearful that it won't be enough. You won't have taught enough. You won't have the right information. You got to learn more. It's not ready. It's not perfect. You're being wishy-washy. North Node in Pisces says, oh no, tap into source, channel the information and give it. Teach it. Do it online. Do it, do it in classes. Do it small. Do it big. North Node in Leo in the 10th. Well, there you go. I just brought that one up earlier about if your North Node is in your 10th house, it's time to tap into learning about how you want to explore your authority in the world, your career in the world. And Leo is all about shining, children, fun. So whatever you're doing up in that 10th house, it sure better be fun and it sure better bring fun into the world, however it is delivered. Making whatever it is that you're giving in your career, something that changes other people's lives to change fun in their life. Lightness, helping them shine. I know you have said this a million times, but mine is North Node in Aquarius in the 8th house. Okay. So the 8th house rules sex, death, and rebirth, other people's finances, emotions. It's a big house, and it's also a very past life karmic house. And so you're here to learn how to tap into exploring being more emotional, being more intimate. It doesn't have to mean sex. It means you've got to learn how to tap in and connect with other people on an emotional level and not lose yourself. It also means you have to learn how to work with your finances and find new financial insights that help lots of people, right? Because Aquarius is all about revolution, new, exploring, helping lots of people, the humanitarian. But it's also about truth. So being truthful about your emotions, being truthful about your finances or the finances that you need. So those are really good, you guys. Great shares because those are important. Someone says, is North Node your career? So I kind of touched on that earlier, right? No, it is not always your career. It enhances your career big time with shade and fruit. Best way I can say that. It's like feeding you easy growing money. Okay. The more you have a fruitful tree, the more you can relax because you've built something, right, that kind of is just dropping down money or fruit as it's supporting your stability and your presence because you know who you are and you know why you're here. You know why you get out of bed every day. And that's really hard for people because most people don't know. They get out of bed to go to dinner and complain about the people at dinner with them when they're not even enjoying it. They get out of bed to go to work and do a 9 to 5. They get out of bed to try and start healing a problem that their body actually would love to heal if they were just open-minded enough to see that. We don't know what we're really here for. Believe me, I had this question for most of my life. Really? That's what I got to focus on? But I don't feel well. Huh. The more I focused on that, it helped me not get so lost in the health issues. And I chipped away at them slowly and didn't get lost in those becoming my identity labels. And I focused on that North Node. It's such a power center for your chart. It's karma, my friends. You came here to do that. And I tell everybody this. Your North Node is you and your divine God consciousness made this deal before you came down. You got to complete that. You can complete it at 10 and you can complete it at 99. Divine doesn't care. Divine doesn't care when you complete this. You're stuck because you're avoiding it. I'd say write down as she's asking, why am I so stuck? With my North Node in Aquarius in the eighth house. This is what I was suggesting to you, my friends. Write down everything that the eighth house. Go Google. What does the eighth house in astrology will represent? You're going to get a long list. Pull 10 of the items off. Then go Google. What does the sign of Aquarius represent? Gifts and challenges. And start chipping away and building the things that are comfortable for you and chipping away at the things that are not comfortable for you. Slowly but surely. Okay. How fascinating. My North Node in Leo house is accompanied by my Uranus. Yeah, Uranus is in the 10th house for you as well. And so it's going to be squaring Saturn. So you need to know that you're going to get that booty kick I was telling everybody earlier in the planetary update. Just so you know, I don't know if everybody else has that same thing, but you're going to get a booty kick into your career, just so you know. Um, let's see, why am I here stirs up so many questions. Like I'm failing because I don't want to be here. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, this is such a great point that's just been made, right? I feel like I'm failing when I ask myself, why am I here? That's the question they're asking, right? I feel this deeply, right? Because I've been there so often and so many times. When I look at what I don't want, I feel despair that I don't have what I want, right? And when I did this enough, I realized it's because I wasn't clear on that purpose and that end destination, what it was, right? Why am I here? And it was those pieces, freedom, security, so I can teach others to see their unseen beauty anywhere in the world. Did it take a while to be able to create something that allowed me to do that? Absolutely. Because I was I was in class all day teaching. I was live coaching. I was executive coaching, which I still do, but just on a very small basis. I was in sessions, so there's no more Dawn to go around, and I knew I had to make it bigger, right? So now it's time to see that you're not failing. It's that you're unlikely clear on where your ship is going. So you're feeling like the new destinations, right? You know where you want to get to, but ending up at the wrong port because you haven't been clear on that north node. How am I going to chip away at it? And that's what I'm going to focus on. And typically when we get confident in that and we're growing confidence, most of the rest of the chart starts falling into place. Most of it starts enhancing the other parts of your life. And this is something that gets people tripped a lot. Okay. Does that make sense, my friends? And how simplified we can make this is North Node, South Node. Now, South Node is still vitally important, don't get me wrong, because it's going to be something you're naturally easy. It's just easy for you. This kind of work, this stuff, one-on-one coaching sessions, personal development work, easy for me. I don't even have to think about it. It's just natural. I see a birth chart and I'm like, oh my God, look how amazing you are. Look how cool you are, right? But it's not as easy to push that energy up and water the leaves of the tree. It's easy, but you must empower the roots versus overwater. Yes. And then I teach people that as well, is that if you put so much energy into your south node, we water the roots, the tree gets root rot, it falls over. Most people end up at my door and they're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what my purpose is. I'm like, because you're watering the wrong end of the tree. You got to water both ends. And the end that's uncomfortable to water and put time and energy into is that north node because it's just things that we're not naturally good at. It doesn't mean you're not fascinated by them because you absolutely are. You just got to start learning where your comfort zone is to start chipping away and growing confidence there. Cool. Okay. Okay, any other questions, my friend? Anybody want to come on? I'm willing to pop you up if you just want to raise your hand and I'll bring you on I'll unmute you. You're welcome to ask any questions you guys would like. There's no questions off the table. If you're challenged with anything in life right now, you have me. And while you have me, I say use your time. Ask your question, right? Ask those things that have been bothering you and get the solutions immediately. I do this all day long. I've been doing this for 30 years, which is why I created Lighthouse Astrology. Because I don't want to have all this information to myself. I want you to be empowered. Every single day, I want you to learn something. I want you to go into your I Deserve It community portal. And I want you to just do 15 minutes of each class. You don't have to do a whole course. Most of them are only about an hour and a half. The long ones are, 6 hours, but you don't have to do a lot. Just learn a little bit about yourself and say, I can do that. I like that about me. I can be more of that. Huh. I never knew I was struggling there. I'm going to go put some energy there. If you can just start looking at yourselves, that is the reason. All right, Jen, I'm going to bring you on. I'm going to allow you to talk and I'll let you ask a question. We're going to bring on Jen. So this is Jen.
Okay.
Hi, Jen. How are you? Welcome.
Hi. I don't know why I am struggling right now. I mean, like I don't everything just feels very, very hard. And I feel like I've been doing a ton of work. But yet I do feel stuck and I feel like there's something that's right in front of me and it's for whatever reason I can't see it.
Thank you. This is a beautiful question. And the reason what she's bringing up is what a lot of you are feeling right now is because you're focused on so much instead of doing this exercise tonight. Go, like I said, minimal, just go Google, go chat GPT. What is the eighth house and what is Aquarius? All the meanings that come into those topics. And I want you to write them down and then say, okay, I'm going to start focusing on these three things just to grow my confidence and just try it. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to research it. Because what's happening is your mind is going into all those other planets that are causing us to feel overwhelmed. Believe me, I've been feeling it too. So you're not wrong. But then our brain tries to basically address all of the information coming in, all the storms, all the chaos, and that's what's getting you tripped up. So focusing on, you're right, if I go there and start creating more of that in my life and in my career and in my world and in my money and in my confidence, all the other things, watch them start clicking into place. Would you
Okay.
say you have a little mini list of how many things you're focused on right now?
I do. And the
Or a long
problem is
list, I should say.
I have, and it's not a mini list. I have a long list, but the problem is there's parts of me that just like I sometimes go into the defeated part, and then I
Yep.
also go into the part where it's like I don't want to do that anymore. I want more freedom.
You exactly. That's why I want you to go into the eighth house and Aquarius, and I want you to Google it, and I want you to make a list and go, okay, I can focus on that. Those two things I'm going to focus on. I know they're taking me do course on my compass because that's where I'm supposed to be heading anyway, and just start
Hmm.
focusing on the things that you actually are interested. Because you'll like Google them, you're like, oh, those things do interest me. Don't know a
Right.
lot about that. I'm really uncomfortable with that, but I actually am interested. I just have to go gain confidence and knowledge there. That's my point about this North Node work.
Okay.
Because the little bit that you start doing into it, it'll draw you out of this kind of hermit hole, like, I don't want to do any of that. Believe me, I got plenty of houses in my chart that I was like, I don't want to do those. This I was talking about why my health, I had to deal with my health, but I didn't let it be the label and I didn't let it be the identity. And still kept chipping away at that North Node energy. So I had something to focus on that was good for me, that I knew would grow my entire reality. And as you're all sitting here listening to Lighthouse Astrology and learning how fast you can see yourself, that's where this all kind of immersed came out of. Yeah, there were weeks that I was unwell in bed or on the couch, barely making it, doing my sessions, doing what I had to do, holding it together, not letting people see it, but it was there, but I was still chipping away at this. That's what I want you to do is chip away at that North Node energy for something that actually like that's the house of they call it metaphysics, right? Go start researching and just doing a few things that in that metaphysical, the things that attract you, and you're like, I would be interested in that, but make a list of all the things that come up and watch where you're drawn. Then
Okay.
also, I want you to circle three things that you're like, yeah, those are really uncomfortable for me, and try just taking a baby chip out of it. It's redirecting your focus
Okay.
as opposed to I just have no drive. It's because your tree fell over, Jen.
Well, I'm laughing because that is how I feel right now. Like my tree fell over, and I don't even know if I have the strength to put it back up.
You don't have to put it back up. All you have to do is water it. So watering means just focusing and kind of creating ideas and energy and just putting energy into doing some of the things that fall into that category. You don't have to, you're not the one in charge of putting the tree up. You're just in charge of regrowing those leaves. Just like we would any plant that's dehydrated, has a drought, go water that corner and watch what happens. You'll feel it once you start putting energy in. Almost like an awakening, like, okay, I can do this. Everybody's saying you have all the strength. We all believe in you, Jen.
Oh, thank you.
Does that help? Does that help you redirect a little bit so you're not lost in the I don't want to do anything?
It does. I mean, I've never been, I've never felt like this ever before. I'm such a like doer, accomplisher,
Hmm.
and everything, and so this energy just feels so weird to me. I don't even know where to start with it. But what you said is very helpful. I'm gonna do that tonight.
Yeah, it'll help you kind of almost like ignite the flame. I was talking about those planets. It's gonna spark something, and you're like, I'm just gonna start learning that. I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna YouTube that. Like, just start small. You don't have to overwhelm yourself. Something will draw you in because it's your North Node. It's why you're here, and it'll start expanding you and getting you to feel more connected to your soul again. Cool.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on. All right. Anybody else want to come on? Anybody else? Any other questions? I'm happy to do it. Just raise your hand. No? You're like, we got this, Dawn. You're about to. I will go and make sure you have all the information we talked about tonight. Just remember to like and share and invite a friend to the next live. Send them the link from the text that you guys get as reminders to the next Truth Tribe. Remember in the IDI Center community, the IDI Club, as well as Facebook, I will post the little downloadable form so you guys can fill this out for the new, you have a few days, right, for the new moon. And then if you need a copy of your free birth chart, my friends, go to my website, ideserveitnow.com, and just put at the top in the you'll see Astro chart and you can go get your chart there. If you want to know how to read it, and I'm telling you, I teach basics because we're getting so overwhelmed in the details, right? If you want to know the basics, just go get, some self-awareness. And I can teach you all I want, but if you don't sit and dive into it and look at yourself, it's just going to be surface. You're not going to be invested. So join the I Deserve It VIP, I Deserve It membership. You get everything. You can take one class at a time, but it's much more, better on your budget by just getting the monthly membership and getting everything and taking things one step at a time. Remember, if you're listening to this after the live session in YouTube or Spotify, the links will always be in the notes below if you need to access any of this. You guys, thank you so much. Remember, always, 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 if you have questions, thank you, Jen, for joining us tonight and sharing with everyone. If you have questions, find me in the DMs, find me in the chat. I will see you all soon. Thank you for joining me tonight. I love you all. Brightest blessings. Take care.